Scarpins Avenue.
Coming to you live from our houses in Los Angeles, California, it's Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone, your comedy field guide to life. Tonight, Pixar animation. Why are some cartoons filled with more emotional color than real life? Pixar's chief creative officer, Pete Docter, writer, director, animator, and the force behind Toy Story, Monsters, Inc., Up, and the newest Pixar film, Soul, is here to talk about the power of a pencil. It's mightier than a CGI sword. Plus, Iceland. It's known for volcanoes and lava fields, but amidst the ash, we must have some listeners there. We just must. We just can't figure out how many. Toni Anita Hull and Bonnie Burns have teamed up on a group report, God help us, which explores the beauties of this island country. Come on, Reykjavik, get off your geysers and listen to our show. I'm Adam Felber, the man who tries to keep this show's conversation moving smoothly, from topical storyboards through renderings of subject matter and culminating in an animated coherency. And now, please welcome the woman whose conversational pencil is always coloring outside those lines. It's Paula Poundstone.
Hey, you guys. Thank you so much. Lovely to chat with you again on another week. Hi, Adam. And thanks to tonight's house band. Sounds fantastic. We have Nobody and violinist Kathleen Strahm.
Thanks.
Fantastic.
Welcome, Kathleen.
Thank you.
Woo, Kathleen.
We've had a bumper crop of those violinists.
Oh, yeah. A bumper crop. Yeah.
A bumper crop of violinists.
Yeah.
Like two in the last 6 weeks.
Oh, damn it. I was going to make a Harry Potter reference and I can't remember. What were the names of the plants that they would harvest? Well, they would repot. They were repotting them and they would scream.
Oh, those shrieking trolley things. Yeah.
Oh,
no idea.
I can't remember.
Well,
they'd pull them out of the pot and they'd go like, ee, ee, ee. That's how we've gotten our violinists. We've harvested them and they come out. Adam.
Well, yes.
Mandrakes.
What? Oh, mandrakes, of course.
Thanks for Googling, Tony.
Yeah, Tony. You know, I have a rule that we don't Google while we are busy. But apparently Tony isn't really invested in this evening's ordeal. Adam, I have a confession to make, which is this.
Uh-huh.
I didn't used to do very much grocery shopping for many years. For a variety of reasons, not the least of which is I was busy. Not the least of which is that I was on the road for half a week. And so, I couldn't really buy produce because it would just go bad. And I mostly ate out. And so I grocery shop now. And, but I don't really know what anything costs. I don't know.
They're marked.
Sometimes, but I don't know. I can never find it. I'm always looking at one thing and it's the price for something else. But anyways, my point is this. So I go grocery shopping the other day thinking that I was just doing like a quick little shop, mostly for produce. Uh-huh. And I get to the cashier, and I do have more stuff in the cart than I had anticipated, but still, it wasn't one of my bigger grocery shops. So I get to the cashier, and she rings everything up, and she says it was like $200. And I'm like, how did that happen? And the cashier takes a look at the, at the charges, and she goes, well, this Advil. She picks up a bottle of Advil. She goes, this is $25. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Thank you for then put it back, please. Thank you. I don't want $25. No. Okay, thank you. Now, and I've been having headaches. So I leave the grocery store and I go home and I'm putting everything away. And I realize I have a container of double stuffed Oreos, a container of Fig Newtons, at least 12 bags of chips. And by the way, one of them was party size. And and I have been getting a lot of headaches. And the following day, I had a terrible headache. And so I took 2 chips. And I feel fine now.
You feel fine now?
I feel fine now, as it turns out. Yeah. I mean, at first I thought, when I got home and I saw those chips, I thought, oh my God, where are my priorities? Like, what's the matter with me? But when I took 2 chips and felt better, I realized I didn't need that Advil. I was right. Just, I've kind of been in a big Frito mood lately. In fact,
do you favor the flavored Fritos or just the plain natural Fritos?
Oh no, the regular. Yeah,
Just the regular.
The original. I don't. I'll tell you something. Not only do I not approve of the other flavors, but I
Yes.
I won't talk to people who do. That's how.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to be on the forefront of healing the country.
No, that's extraordinarily divisive.
Yeah, I judge. I really judge harshly.
Wow. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave my opinion of flavored Fritos mute right here. I'm just gonna
Yeah, that's
mute
probably
it.
best. That's probably
Yeah.
best.
Yeah,
in fact, at
especially
one
those
point we couldn't
chili
find
cheese ones.
We couldn't find. Hey! At one point we
What?
couldn't find the. I don't want to hear about the chili cheese ones. At one
How about
point
honey
we couldn't-
barbecue
No. Oh Jesus, that's
with the
awful.
flavored twists? Okay.
I didn't even know they had all those kinds. See, I wouldn't go to a store that had all those kinds. You're going to just the Frito store. You're really going to a specific store to get all that.
Well, I go to Frito and things.
And the things are like a little dish to put the Fritos in. By the way, I don't believe in dishes.
I used to go to Doritos, Fritos, and Beyond, but that place got too expensive.
Yeah. Plus the Beyond. I was at the Bed Bath & Beyond the other day. And again, I spent much more money. Because you know what I'm doing? I'm stocking my cabinets with microbial cleaning cloths. I'm just so into them now. Because they don't...
Microbial cleaning cloths?
Yeah, because they don't... for years, I've been using what's called a bar mop. It's not a mop at all. It's just sort of... oh, my gosh. Wait a minute. I forgot to turn my phone off. Hold on. Let me just see who it is.
Oh,
Hold on.
jeez.
Hello?
You're getting the phone?
Yeah, hello?
Is this happening? I'm the one who gets phone calls on this show.
Adam,
And I don't even...
it's an
Yes?
exclusive announcement from Marriott Hotels, and my phone number has been pre-selected.
Paula?
I have to go, Adam. I have to go. My phone number has been pre-selected.
Paula, it has.
Adam,
It's just yeah.
I can't get any more hotel soap during the pandemic. I need to talk to these people.
Okay, we'll just take a quick break, and as soon as you're ready, call back and we'll continue the show, okay?
Nah, I turned it off. Damn
Okay,
it.
well, you probably made the right choice, all things considered there, Paula.
Yeah, I think I did.
All right, well, speaking of going beyond, it's time for us to go to beyond the 4 walls of our 2 respective rooms, Paula.
Let's do
and
it.
Reach out. Let's reach out, go around the horn, and meet the people who make Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone possible. The little people, if you will. And to be frank, they're both shorter than us. Let's start way up
Polly
there.
Pocket.
Let's start way up there in the Simi Valley, near a horse ranch, and a lot of unhappy Halloween kids, where Bonnie Burns, Captain Crinkle, our producer, your manager, lurks waiting to bestow some great bone motes upon us. Hi, Bonnie, what's up?
Hi, Adam. Hi, Paula. When Adam goes...
is that Bonnie or is that Amy Klobuchar?
It's
Hi,
very hard
Adam.
to
Hi,
tell.
Paula. I'm so happy to hear from you. I love America, and I've worked so hard to become who I am. I'm happy to be a senator.
Wow, that
we're
impression is so dead on. It's really... And
Yeah, it is.
the political
It is.
satire that comes with it is sharper every week. So what's new, Bonnie?
Well, okay, I'm torn about what I want to say. Paula, when you said you got the aspirin...
If only you'd had literally an entire week to think that through. Oh, wait, you did.
Yeah,
Bonnie,
As
no,
you do every
Bonnie,
week.
No, I just started thinking, like, a couple hours ago. But Paula, when you said, I wasn't thinking about this, when you said that you were buying the aspirin, what store were you at? I thought, is she at Whole Foods? And she bought aspirin at Whole Foods? No, you
No,
wouldn't
I don't
do that.
shop at Whole Foods. No, Whole Foods is way too. Bonnie, could you of all people have forgotten that I have no income?
I know you have no income.
And keep in mind, you're getting 15% of my no income. So if I was going to Whole Foods, you should be upset.
No,
I can't go to Whole Foods.
No, that's why I was sitting here listening to the story and going, she couldn't be shopping at Whole Foods and then doing that really stupid thing where she'd buy aspirin that you could get at a drugstore at Whole Foods.
Yeah, and also it was Advil, Bonnie.
Okay.
No, I've been shopping at Half Foods.
So, Bonnie, I passed you the ball and you ducked at this point.
No.
What's up?
Okay, wait. So that was going to remind me of saying that I shop at Walmart online and, like you buy a cereal that I'll see a price like $3.99 that I pay $5.99 in the grocery store. And I think, oh my God, that's a really good price. So I'll get like 2 boxes. And then what comes is like such a giant box that I can't even fit it on the shelf. That's what I thought I'd say when I heard Paula talk. But I actually have...
You had a week, Bonnie.
I know, that is weak. So we'll just go to this, which is, this is what I wanted to tell you.
Are you buying cereal at a store for regular people, or are you at the big and tall woman's shop?
No.
That's the problem. You have to shop at a store that's for people your size.
Okay, so
I think Paula's got a point there. But Bonnie, now that you've spent 5 minutes of our lifetimes walking us through what you're not going to say.
I have to get to what I was going to say, which is, all right.
So wait a minute, let me get this
Our show goes on
straight.
the air every Tuesday, as we all know. And so what happens is, in the morning, I get up and I check Facebook because I want to see how the nobody's reacted. So there were a couple of entries of people who mentioned, remember when I did the knock-knock joke and then I couldn't remember what it really was? And I said, like, we used to say orange and then, Paula criticized me and said, what camp did you go to? So one person said, knock, knock. Now you guys can go. Who's there?
Who's there?
Who's there?
Who's there?
Bonnie Burns.
Bonnie Burns.
Bonnie Burns who?
Bonnie Burns, anybody who picks on her.
Oh, wow.
Wait a minute. How old are you again? Someone else wrote that for you?
That's what a
So
nobody
you
put.
outsourced a knock-knock joke?
No,
That's your thing?
They volunteered it. Okay, then remember I
That
said,
came from
why don't we-
China, by the way. That knock-knock joke came from China.
Written
Then
by,
another-
by kids in sweatshops, Bonnie. Shame on you.
That's right. And we have to pay tariffs on our jokes as a result of you. I don't even know what a tariff is, by the way, but I think we shouldn't have it.
No.
We're having to pay tariffs on our jokes because you're buying jokes from China.
Okay, so then another person, these were all entries in a row, okay? So then another person, remember I couldn't say what it was, I thought there was something with orange. Okay, so here it is. I'll say knock, knock,
Who's there?
Who's there?
Who's there?
banana.
Banana who? This is
Banana
the
who?
joke.
Yeah, I told you
Okay,
this
then
the
I
other
go,
day.
wait, then I go
Yeah.
knock, knock.
Yes,
Right.
and we say,
There.
who's
Who's there?
there?
I say banana.
Banana
And we
who?
say, banana
Yes.
who?
Okay,
We told
knock,
you this
knock.
the other day.
Paula did,
Wait,
in fact,
I have
explain
one
that
more.
joke.
One more, knock, knock,
Who's there?
Who's there?
orange.
Orange.
Orange who?
Aren't you glad I didn't say banana?
That's I was
precisely
really
what
hopeful
Paula
this
was
gonna
explaining.
turn
I
out
told you the other day
differently.
that was
It
the
was?
joke. Yeah.
Yes.
She did do
Yes.
that? I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
Paula, I
Okay.
think from now on, if you want to get a message to Bonnie Burns, you better make a comment on our Facebook page.
It's the only way.
Okay, so wait. Here's the
All she
last
listens
part.
to.
that makes this
Okay.
really embarrassing, okay? So I'm on the
Oh,
Facebook
No, I
great.
think
page.
that last part was embarrassing. I do.
Yeah, you ought to be at adequate levels of embarrassment at this point.
This part's even
First
worse.
of all, you heard the orange the orange banana knock joke for the first time in your life, and it's been around, since before we were born. And second of all, you told it and you laughed uproariously over it. Even
Look,
as a
you should be
kid, I didn't
embarrassed.
think it was funny. Yeah,
no,
so I think
said
this,
I knew it was.
Believe it or not, that joke predates The Door.
I said that was funny, Adam. That was really funny. Okay. I said it was
an old
something
joke.
orange. I couldn't remember what it was. I did say that. I went, why
Wow.
did we say orange something? Okay, so here's the most embarrassing part. So I'm on Facebook.
can I
and
just
I'm
ask you
scanning
one
to see
question?
what the,
Can I just ask you a question before you begin? You know how
Yeah.
a lot of my dates have been postponed?
Yeah.
Right? You haven't done any kind of negotiation on any of them, have you, about the pay or anything in the last months?
Yeah, I have. Every one of
'Cause-
them.
Because
Are you feeling secure?
not
It
really.
sounds
That's
like you're
my
a little
point exactly.
preoccupied.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you
Okay,
when
well-
you first get the person on the phone and you're ready to go in to talk money, do you go, wait, hold on, say knock knock? Have you done that? Because
Kind of feels like she does.
yeah, that's giving them the upper hand, I think.
So good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right,
worried.
Bonnie.
Okay,
Wait,
go ahead.
here's the
Sorry.
most-
Bring us home, Bonnie, for
Okay,
God's
here's
sake.
the most embarrassing part. Okay, so I go on Facebook to see what the nobody say about the show, and I'm scanning down, and the first one about Bonnie Burns, then the next one about the banana who, and then Thomas Dean says, "Aren't you glad I didn't say I'm sorry?" And I go back, "Oh yeah, that's it. I forgot." He actually
I
had
can't hear a
words.
word you're saying.
I didn't get any of that, Bonnie.
Nope.
What?
It's like talking to my girls when they were little. You know what? If you want mommy to understand what you're saying, you're going to need to have to speak up, I think.
All right. I'll try and
Yeah.
not laugh while I'm saying it.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
So
No.
these
Yeah.
people are saying different knock-knock jokes, and then Thomas Dean says, "Aren't you glad I didn't say I'm sorry?" I was so busy scanning and kind of half paying attention that I didn't realize what he did was say the thing I said on the show.
Oh.
What did you say on the show?
I said, "Aren't you glad I didn't say I'm sorry?"
I'm going to go and say that this is a story that you could have just as easily not told.
You guys don't get it?
Not really.
I get it, but I'm also looking at it.
Well, somebody does.
Because I went to find out for myself.
Tony,
Tony,
do you want to
you
translate?
went on
Tony.
Facebook while we're talking?
Yes, she did.
Jesus. Aren't you glad I don't look at Facebook?
I guess
Oh
I'm,
my God!
I guess I'm done.
I would
you-
say
you-
so.
No, I
no,
don't
we-
think
we-
so. No,
Okay.
you know what we should do right now? We should have a contest where listeners take the first letter of everything that Bonnie said that made sense.
And see if they can decode it.
Yeah. Just write the first letter of everything Bonnie said that made sense. Those who answer absolutely nothing win.
And if I may do a travel log right now. And now, as the sun sets, we leave the Simi Valley behind, wondering why we ever visited there in the first place. And we head straight on down
Bye-bye.
bye-bye, to Studio City, where Tony Anita Hull, also known as the Bonnie Whisperer, has some explaining to do. What's going on, Tony?
I'm good. This is the last show in my apartment.
Oh.
You found a new place.
I'm moving.
No, there's a
Yeah.
couch in my alley, and she's going to spend a lot of time there. You did the way you said it's my last show in the apartment. It didn't sound like you were moving. It sounded like you were just you were just had it with that apartment. Well, I'm so excited for you. So Toni, it's a 1-bedroom apartment as opposed to a studio.
It's a 1-bedroom. I'm very excited to have a bedroom. Hardwood floors, a fireplace, central air,
Wow.
a walk-in closet,
Wow.
a balcony, a new
Oh
stove.
my gosh. A
I'm
balcony?
Very excited. A balcony.
Are you still going to be in Studio City, or are you moving towns?
I'm moving 1 mile. So I will still be in Sherman Oaks, technically.
So,
Sherman Oaks, okay.
So people can just drive around Sherman Oaks and look for you standing out on your balcony. Is that right?
I would prefer they not do that, but if they're up for it.
Yeah. I can't wait to see you on your balcony. Toni, Anita, oh, I'm so happy for you. That's a wonderful thing, my dear, that you're moving to a new apartment and you'll have some space. And frankly, I would much rather stay with you than here with Paula Poundstone, who's just a barbarian.
You know, Mrs. Culpepper, you've been stuck with Paula throughout this whole pandemic, right?
Oh, don't remind me. It has been god awful. She got cats everywhere, and she has no manners, and she has allergies. She sneezes and coughs, and I would prefer to. Thank you, Toni, for getting a 1-bedroom. How big a bed can I have?
I hope that you do get to take a little trip, Ms. Culpepper, because I know that you've, for quite a while now, been trying to hold Paula Poundstone at arm's length.
No one. I try to keep my distance from her because I'm never sure if she has the COVID because she's always congested and always coughing, and she seems tired a lot, and I just never know.
I keep telling her to just kind of, especially around you, because you're a woman who lost your husband to the coronavirus.
Oh, no, that's incorrect. Captain Culpepper did pass away, but it was not the coronavirus.
Oh, wasn't? My mistake. I apologize. I for some reason, I thought it was the coronavirus.
No, it was not. It was, now that you bring it up, it was it was triotoxism. That's what it was, triotoxism.
The oft mispronounced triotoxism. That's contamination and poisoning from dairy products or cheese.
Yeah, that's correct, Adam Felber. It's a poisoning from a dairy product or a cheese. Yeah. It was the Gouda that got him. I'll tell you though, I did deeply love Captain Culpepper. He was a good man, but I must say that he was a bit stifling in some ways. My light was under a bushel when I was with Captain Culpepper, and I've been able to spread my wings a bit in his absence.
I do have to say, Mrs. Culpepper, you seem to be saying that with increasing regularity the more time that goes by, as though you're slowly waking up to the fact that your relationship with the captain might have limited you in several ways.
I believe it did limit me in many, many ways, actually, now that you mention it, Adam. He would never let me sing professionally, for example.
Sing professionally? And are you doing that now?
Things will be good in America. Things will be good in America.
Okay. And who doesn't love West Side Story, sung by an anti-Southern belle? Ms. Culpepper, thanks so much. Can you put Paula back on the line?
She's busy right now.
You
What?
can come stay with me anytime you want, Mrs. Culpepper.
Oh, you are a dear, Toni Anita. Oh, thank you so much. Paula Poundstone, did you hear that? I don't have to stay here a minute longer. When are you moving, Toni?
I'm moving Friday.
Well, you can expect me late in the afternoon.
Excellent.
Whew. On that note, Paula, do you have a word?
Of course I have a word, Adam. I have to remember. Here it is. Here's the word, Adam. Simulacrum. Simulacrum.
Oh, good.
Simulacrum. It's a noun. The first meaning is an image or representation of someone or something. The second meaning is an unsatisfactory copy or substitute. Here, I'll use it in a sentence. Donald Trump is a simulacrum of a president. By the way, I am using the second meaning here. I wish that I had. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, Jesus! I hurt my back. Did I tell you that?
Getting out your concert glockenspiel?
I was reaching for my glockenspiel, but I have a hurt back, and this is a huge glockenspiel. I got a new one. This is a really big one. It's hard to lift. I'm gonna probably store it at Tony's new apartment because I don't have space here.
Okay.
I wish I had a song to put this word in so I could remember it. Hey, I do.
That new one doesn't sound much different than the old glockenspiel.
Oh,
The
it's
compact
giant.
one.
It's giant. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
This week's word is simulacrum. It's a noun. Its second meaning is unsatisfactory copy or substitute. I want a cookie, not a fruit. Last week's word was rapacity. It's a noun that means aggressive greed. The filthy rich are still in need. The week before that we had putative. It's an adjective that means generally considered as or believed to be. The national anthem was written by Francis Scott Key. Going back before that, the word was asseveration. It's a noun that means a solemn or emphatic statement or declaration. If we're too stupid to wear masks, we're all done. And not long ago we had purulent. It's an adjective that means consisting of, containing, or discharging pus. I hope that never happens to us. Let's never forget gallimaufry. Gallimaufry, which I pronounced wrong until nobody James Hyder corrected me. It's a noun that means confused jumbler medley of things. Hodgepodge, who's podge, hodgepodge. Adam doesn't think my song is replicable, but I do.
All right, wow, Paula, that was
Woo!
I want to take a second here though, because I believe you snuck a new canard into your vocabulary song this week, didn't you? You said that Francis Scott Key was a putative author of the national anthem.
Well, he didn't write the music.
Right, but you're not questioning that he wrote the lyrics.
No.
Okay.
But everyone just assumes he wrote the whole thing. He didn't.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, it was a British pub song. Okay. You know what? Fair enough. I withdraw it, and I apologize to the surviving descendants of Francis Scott Key for me bringing it up. Coming up, Walt Disney said
They're
animation can
heartbroken.
explain... Well, do you know the Keys, Mrs. Culpepper?
Of course, I know the Keys.
They're a good family.
You know, the Culpeppers are very well connected, Adam.
They always have been. Too bad some of them got caught in unsatisfying marriages. Anyway, coming up, Walt Disney said animation can explain whatever the mind of man can conceive. We'll find out what a genius of animation has conceived when we talk with Pete Docter. That's coming up when we return on Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone.
Kitty Poo Club, kitty poo club, kitty poo club, kitty poo club.
Poo Club. Kitty Poo Club.
My apologies to the Sherman brothers. Changing my cat's litter is so easy and not messy, and I don't mind it at all, said nobody ever. it's time to say goodbye to the litter box as you know it. And say hello to Kitty Poo Club.
Kitty Poo Club, Kitty Poo Club, is an all-in-one litter box solution designed to be convenient for you, not just your cat. It's always convenient for your cat. Every month, Kitty Poo Club delivers an affordable, high-quality, recyclable litter box that's pre-filled with the litter of your choice.
Kitty Poo Club loves us too. The boxes are leak-proof, eco-friendly, and have a fun design for every season. When the month is up, just recycle the box, and Kitty Poo Club will automatically deliver a new one to you. No changing used litter, and no more cleaning the box. I don't know what I'll do with all the time.
You can customize your order based on how many cats you have and what type of litter they prefer. And Kitty Poo Club has a no-risk guarantee that you can easily customize or cancel anytime.
Kitty Poo Club loves us too. And right now, Kitty Poo Club, which is really hard to get into. Kitty Poo Club is very exclusive. You have to wear like a short dress and high heels and wait in line for a long time. Kitty Poo Club is very exclusive. It's in New York City. And a lot of really cool rappers and rock stars go in there, and actors and actresses that you would like to see. Oh, I don't think that's not that Kitty Poo Club.
It's a different Kitty Poo Club. This one is actually pretty easy to get in if you're a listener to this podcast. Because right now, Kitty Poo Club is offering you 20% off your first order when you set up AutoShip by going to kittypooclub.com and entering promo code Paula. Just go to kittypooclub.com and enter promo code Paula to get 20% off when you set up AutoShip. That's kittypooclub.com. And don't forget to enter promo code Paula at checkout.
Kitty Poo Club. Kitty Poo Club. On this day in unremarkable history, Martha Washington said, "That sounds wonderful, George, but take those teeth out first."
Oh, my. Thank you, house band Kathleen Strahm. Hey, Paula Poundstone. As I'm sure you might have noticed, we're all at home right now. We're watching Netflix relentlessly. People are hungry for content.
I don't even know how to get Netflix. I just watch Breaking Bad multiple times every night. And frankly, I am beginning to wonder if there's anything new coming out.
There is new stuff out there. As a matter of fact, Pixar, our favorite studio, is releasing a new movie this Christmas. And we are incredibly lucky to have the writer and director of that said film with us on the phone. Pete Docter has been the force behind some of Pixar's most iconic movies, including Monsters, Inc., Up, Inside Out, and the newest movie, the aforementioned Soul. It will be available on Disney Plus on Christmas Day. Please welcome Pete Docter.
Hello, y'all. Thanks for the plug.
You're popular here, Pete. Pete, upwards of tens of thousands of people are now going to know about your little movie.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
It's not much of a plug when the show is called Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone. But
Well,
still.
we've had a couple of sequences in movies that were self-fulfilling prophecies like that, and we've decided never again. Like we had a sequence called Stuck, and sure enough, that's where it ended. And so, we got to stop doing that. Maybe you could consider a name change.
Everybody listens to. No, we like our nobodies.
Exactly.
We like our nobodies, and there's somebodies to us. All right, Pete. There's so much that I don't know on the topic of animation, but tell me the process of making a Pixar film.
Oh boy, how long have you got?
So it takes a long time?
It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. I guess I'll say this. Okay, so it's all about ideas, right? So writing, drawing, singing, those are just different ways to express ideas that make you feel, which of course is the point of movies. So we start by thinking of ideas, and whether we write them or draw them or whatever, some combination of that, we do that for a long time. And I guess, well, one thing I can say is we have this whole process where we try to approximate the film without making it yet. So we, the script is an example of that. But then we'll go ahead and we'll draw it, kind of like a comic book. And we put it together with music and sound effects and our own dialogue, our own bad stilted acting. And then we watch it. We sit in the theater and we watch this movie and we go, well, I'm glad we didn't make that one. And then we go back and we rewrite it again and again. And then hopefully by the time you see it, the movie that you see in the theater is actually like version 8, usually. Because we go back and we redo that over and over and over until we feel like, okay, some parts of it are working, and then we'll go into production.
Wow.
It's actually, we go to the point even of putting, at the beginning when you sit in the movie and there's the castle logo and then there's the lamp that comes on, and
Right.
we put that on these too, just to really try to fool ourselves. Try to convince ourselves that, yeah, this is it. This is the movie.
Now,
Be as serious as we can about it.
When you say ourselves, how many people are watching in the screening room at that point?
Well, let's see. I guess generally we try to get as many people in there as we can, so you get like an honest to goodness audience reaction. So it'll be, typically like about maybe 200 people.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's a
Because I know this is a silly comparison, because you guys are a multi-cajillion dollar, very successful, incredible, cutting-edge animation studio, and I am a very small podcast, but my manager, Bonnie Burns, will say to me after we've recorded, she'll say, well, this part didn't get any laughs. And I have to I have to point out to her that the only people that could possibly be reacting are her and Toni Anita Hull. And that sometimes they're Googling while we're talking. So
You need a laugh track, I guess. Huh?
yeah, I think we do. Well, no, because I was just wondering, like, but if it's 200 people, then maybe that's a better sounding board.
Yeah, or at least like 150. And the thing we
Wow.
do too is we'll bring a bunch of people from any different area. Sometimes it's the kitchen staff, or sometimes it's the people who do the animation or the rendering or whatever. And then we also bring in other filmmakers who are working on other films. So it'll be, Brad Bird in there or Andrew Stanton or somebody, and then afterwards we get up, we go into this room and we politely discuss what didn't work and what could be better.
right.
And do you ever find that you're just pissed at the kitchen staff after?
Oh, yeah.
And that then when you go to like get food from the kitchen, you just don't even want to look at them?
No, they're usually the kind ones. It's Andrew Stanton who can
be rough.
He's the one you got to watch for. You got to duck. Yeah.
I bet that kitchen staff loved Ratatouille.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
they did.
boy.
They're an easy sell for that one, though.
And how frank are you with one another? And how because in our goofy little podcast we have discussions about this, like how frank do you want people to be?
Yeah. Well, how good do you want the movie to be?
Well, yeah, but
Ooh.
You want to be frank. It hurts, but I'd rather get hurt by 7 people than release it out into the wide world and have everybody hate it.
yeah.
I'd rather hear the bad news up front and then have a chance to change things.
Right, yeah. Do you still tell yourself, like, I know the little bit of writing that I've done, I always, even though I know that writing is rewriting, I always have this fantasy when I sit down that, what if I just bang it out right the first time? Do you still
Yeah.
tell yourself that that's a possibility, or do you always...
Every time.
Every time.
Every time. Yeah, you got to live in that delusion. Otherwise, if I went in going, well, this is going to be the first of like 700 drafts and it's going to be painful, I don't think I would start again.
No.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's like giving birth, I guess. So they say.
Yeah.
All right, so you were at the 200 people watching. The kitchen staff.
Yeah.
The kitchen staff didn't respond as much as you wanted them to. Now what?
Yeah, so we go, all right, well, we talk about what worked and what didn't. And we were like, oh, this part should have gotten big laughs, and it kind of sat there. wait a minute, was it the actual fault of that sequence or was it the drum roll up to it? Maybe there's something wrong with how we're getting into it, you know? So it's up to us as the filmmakers to kind of diagnose all that stuff. And then we go back and we rewrite and we redraw it and we re-edit it all. So that takes another 2 to 3 months. And then we do that whole thing again. So,
Wow.
like I say, by the time we're actually making the parts of the movie in the computer, we have I don't know, countless drafts on a computer in typewriting form, and then countless drafts of it being drawn and edited and all like that. So
Are there moments in there where you have to just take a leap of faith, though? I mean, are there moments in the film where you're just sure that, like, once this gets fully animated, once people hear the music, once it fills the screen, it's going to be way better than it is as a slideshow?
yes, but if it's kind of dying as a slideshow, it'll only be improved a little bit by movement, you know, and so you kind of got to go okay. So for example, like we had that sequence at the beginning of Up that we called Married Life, where
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
was just going to
gosh.
bring that up.
With
It's
this-
like a silent, beautiful film.
So sad.
So that was at least as strong in storyboards.
Really?
It's amazing. Your brain kind of accepts like whatever level of reality you're going to feed in there. You kind of go, okay, that's going to be rough drawings. All right, well, there's a person and he loves her and so on. So, you know, it was heart-wrenching. And of course, I think it got better as it was produced, but it certainly worked.
Oh, wow. All right. So now you've done the 70th or whatever it is, right? You've redone it. And now you get the reaction that you want from the slideshow with the kitchen staff. Now what?
Well, so while we are doing the whole storyboarding thing, we have an art department, which is anywhere from usually like 3 to 7 people. And they're starting to think about what do these characters actually look like? Sure, we've done these little stick figures on the storyboards, but when we actually build them, what are they going to look like? What are the sets going to look like? What's the lighting, the feel of the whole thing? So they're starting to plan it out. And they produce all sorts of amazing rough sketches, almost like architectural blueprints, beautiful paintings, all of which then is handed on to the technical staff, which we call the technical directors, TDs for short. And they're coming in, they're just, you know, building, instead of casting our characters, like you'd go out and say, I want, George Clooney. We have to build them. Right, so we build this character in the computer, which is a little bit like sculpting a doll in a with a knife out of wood or something, and then you rig it, which is putting in all the muscles so you can make it say ooh ah and raise its eyebrow and all this, and by the end you have this horribly complex thing that is a beautiful computer puppet essentially.
Wow.
So this is done in the computer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
We're way over my head now.
So I mean, see, I kind of figure like most people feel like maybe raise your hand if you think we draw our films. Yeah, see,
My hands up. My hands up.
Mine's
so
not.
we don't draw. It's more like a dollhouse. So you have to build the room and everything in it, and maybe put in a few flashlights. It's like that only. Well, okay, you remember like high school geometry? Mm-hmm. So you can describe everything with math, right? Like a sphere is, I don't remember, 4 pi r squared or something. So you can describe everything with math, and can you then kind of trust me? You could describe something more complex, like a bowl or a car, right? You could make that out of math. So pretty much everything we're doing is like sculpting with math inside the computer, and then it's behaving as though it's real. So lighting, light kind of ricochets off the side, and it either reflects wildly or it's fairly matte. You can describe all this stuff with math. Mm-hmm. I never knew math was going to be any use to me at all in high school, but turns out.
And you're able to do that too? Then the math thing? You don't. That's not
no.
the TD thing.
No,
Good heavens.
I did, like when we started back in 1990 when I started, I did a little bit of that, but now things are way above me. So we have these amazingly wonderfully smart people who not only can do all the math stuff, but are also brilliant artists.
Now, you have specialists for different types of the art, don't you? And the only reason I say that is because I was at a wedding in Chicago once, and I met somebody who worked at Pixar, and I asked her what she does, and she says, "Oh, I do hair."
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, hair is one of the tougher things. So, yeah, that definitely takes some specialty. There are some generalists who can do a little bit of everything, and then there are some people who definitely have a specialty area, specializing in, say, cloths. So, a basic rule of thumb, if it's rigid and flat and geometric, it's relatively straightforward. If it's ripply and organic with a lot of like a shirt or something, if you imagine throwing a shirt on the floor, that's a lot more difficult.
Is that why you guys started with plastic toys?
Yeah, exactly. Because whether we wanted it to or not, everything kind of looked like plastic toys. So we figured let's lean into it.
So, oh my gosh, the look of Toy Story is one of the most beautiful things I can imagine. So did you used to yell at your kids when they threw their clothes on the floor? Did you say if someone has to animate that, it's going to be really hard? Pick that up and put it away?
Yeah.
That's a good...
And you wrote that first Toy Story story, didn't you?
Well, me and a bunch of other folks. We even had Joss Whedon, who went on to do Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He was on the thing for a little while. So it was a good group.
How do you write in a group like that?
Well, I guess it's kind of similar to what I hear about television, where you kind of get together, you kind of, as they say in TV, break story. I learned that this week. So
I don't know
I'm using
that.
it
You
all
learned
over the
break
place.
story this week.
Yeah, I'd never
What
heard
is
that before.
break story?
Break story is like you sit around and you're like, okay, so first he goes over here and he tells this guy, get lost. And then the thing blows up. And so you're kind of beating out the basic events of the thing, right?
Oh, I see. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then we kind of figure out what we want to happen. And then, in the case of Toy Story, it'd be Joss who would go off and say, all right. And he'd close the door and he would kind of follow basically what we'd come up with. But, when you're doing anything, you make discoveries along the way. So he might surprise us with some new twists and hopefully some funny lines. Somebody was just, you remember at the end of the film, somebody was saying when they light the rocket, I assume you've seen the film, everybody.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
This thing. Okay. So they light the rocket and then Woody says, Buzz, this is the part where we blow up. Not today. And then he goes and he flies, right? The original line that Joss wrote was Woody says, Buzz, you're flying. And he says, well, technically it's gliding, but let's not spoil the moment. So we thought that was pretty funny. We actually animated the whole thing, and we were in animation. And then I remember, I think John Lasseter, the director, had actually finalized the shot. And I said, oh, you know what he should say? He should say, the thing that he said at the beginning of the
Falling
film,
with
which
style.
is falling with style.
Yeah.
And John kind of stops and he looked at me and he's like, all right, go back. We have to go. So we changed it right there and then because that's the fluid process that we work under. It's always
And
being
so
adjusted.
when you change something like that, it's not just a matter of telling Peter Falk, to go back and make his entrance again, but this time say this. You have to get those guys with the numbers again, don't you?
Well, in this case, so what we had to do for that particular shot was to go back to Tim Allen and record the line. Then we would edit it back in. Most of the movement that we had, if you imagine these, the characters are almost like marionettes with like 10,000 strings, right? So you have all these puppeteers moving the arms and the legs and the fingers. The only thing we really needed to change was the lips. So it wasn't a huge redo.
Uh-huh. But
We just
back
made it
then,
fit the
things
new
did
dialogue.
take a lot more time to redo than they do now, didn't they? I mean, you were using steam-powered computers or something.
That's right. Well, the funny thing is, the process that we call rendering at the end. So you've done the building of the characters, the surfaces, the lighting, the movement, and then you what we call render a frame. So this is like the computer sits and it chugs and it thinks really hard and it comes up with what that's supposed to look like, right? With the right lighting and everything. And each frame takes, let's see, back then it took like 7 hours per frame. Of course, there's 24 frames a second, right? So It's
It
a
took
significant amount of time.
7 hours per frame. You know, Pete, I am not technical at all, but I would suggest that you turn your computer off and then turn it back on again, and it should go faster.
Well, where were you in 1994, Paula?
We tried that. That's right.
There was no help whatsoever. Oh, I'm so
But you
sorry.
know what? The frames that we're doing now take like 24 frames, 24 hours a frame, because we just are asking so much more of it. If you look at something from Toy Story 4 versus Toy Story 1, I think you can see the difference.
There's a difference. Those damn upgrades,
Okay.
Yeah.
that's how they get you. You
Have
get a more
you
powerful
emptied-
computer and they add features.
Have you emptied your cache?
I don't even know what that is.
I don't either, but Wendell always says it to me. You have to empty the cache, and I go, I don't know what that is, and then he sort of shoves me out of the way. Okay, wait. I
Or to
don't.
buy a new computer.
There's so much. Well, I mean, we're sort of using Toy Story to tell the story of how you make these films.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to be solely about Toy Story. But so long as we are on the Toy Story subject, I have to ask you about one of my favorite things ever, and I copy it all the time, which I have to ask you how this came into being. Okay, when they're in the Pizza Planet truck, and Buzz sits in a seat with a seatbelt. And Woody gets thrashed in the back of the truck. There is a gesture after Buzz puts his seatbelt on. He pats the belt with his hand. He pats it, I think, twice, which probably took 14 hours or more. Whose idea was that?
That was the animator, and I'm trying to remember who did that shot. It could have been Ashley Brannon. But, you know, the basic idea of that, we actually had a whole nother sequence that Joe Ranft, who is our head of story, he was the guy who, brilliant guy. He was also the voice of Heimlich, the caterpillar.
Oh, sure,
from
yeah.
From Bug's Life. He drew a whole scene where Woody gets totally beat up in the back of the truck because the guy is driving like a bat out of hell, and there's this giant toolbox that keeps smashing into him. And we had a whole sequence where he just got beat up by this toolbox, and it was hilarious, but it went on for a little too long, and we cut it out of the movie. Anyway, we wanted to contrast that, all the hell that he's going through, with Buzz nice and safe in the front seat. And I think that was Joe's idea. And then the animator plussed it by doing the little pat. So,
It's an amazing gesture. Now, I'm going to wrestle Paula out of Toy Story, because we do want to move forward a little bit. Which is, you have a new movie coming out. And, you know, as far as I can tell, when you're actually helming a movie and you're actually directing and writing it now, that's like a 5-year process at this point, right?
Yeah, this one we went fast. It was 4 years.
Wow.
So
now, one thing I've noticed about the Pete Docter movies, I mean the Pixar movies in general, but your movies in particular, is that they go pretty deep. As we were talking about Up, and it starts with that devastating love story that ends, so sadly, and then the next movie you did was Inside Out, I think, which was, viewing the dissolution of a personality of a struggling teen. What's going on with the new one?
Yeah, this one's all comedy jokes. It's just about existentialism.
It is called Soul.
Yes.
You have to define existentialism for me, if you will.
All right. Well, basically, where the idea came from, my son just got married, so he is 23 now. But I realized, looking back, when he was born, he already had elements of his personality. It was pretty clear. And I was thinking, how did that happen? Where did that come from? So we thought, well, there must have been something that happened before you're born, somewhere where you get all this stuff, like your interests. I don't know if this happened to any of your family members or you, like out of nowhere, it's not in your family, somebody is interested in the piano or basketball or something, and so we're trying to figure out, like, how is that possible? So we created this whole backstory about what happens before you're born, and that's really what the film looks into, is how much of this stuff in life is pre-encoded in there versus what do we get to decide? Like, what's the point of all this? Is kind of, that's it's good for kids.
Well, is it then the nature versus nurture argument?
Well, essentially, we have one character who is played by Jamie Foxx, and he unfortunately is almost going to die, and he's desperate to get back to his body. So his soul is in this space through a series of circumstances I won't get into. And he's stuck with Tina Fey, who's a soul who has been here forever and does not want to go to Earth. She's seen it all. She's like, it looks like a bunch of suffering and disappointment down there. I want nothing to do with that. So a soul who doesn't want to die is stuck with a soul who doesn't want to live. And it's really the argument between them, basically essentialism versus nihilism. And that's the film.
And the thing is that you made that sort of self-deprecating joke that, so it's for kids, but kids are going to love it. They attach to the emotional stuff in the Pixar movies just amazingly, no matter how
kids
complicated.
Love nihilism.
They do.
Yeah. My kids were drawn to nihilism. In fact, my son was on the nihilism team, and I couldn't understand where it came from because I have never been drawn to. I didn't teach him that, but yeah, he was. He played on a nihilism team, and and the equipment that you have to buy as a parent, and all the practices you drive them to.
Yeah, and nobody wears the equipment because what's the point of it?
Right, exactly. Yeah, they all buy it. They have a lot of mouth guards that they don't use.
But we do try to put in stuff for the jokes for the kids. A lot of slapstick and verbal humor, and I like to think the way we use the medium is attractive to people of kind of all ages. And so hopefully there's something there that everybody will be moved by and enjoy, I hope.
How did the kitchen staff respond?
This film, it got a pretty good response from the kitchen staff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, kitchen staffs, having worked a lot of restaurants myself, I can tell you, we run deep. If I were to write my own epitaph, which I would never have to begin with, but if I did, table busser would be on there.
Yeah. Plus, those non-corporeal beings are so easy to feed.
Yeah, because they can't taste, they can't smell, they can't see. All those physical things are out the window.
Oh yeah. Now, so how long ago did you start working on this movie, Soul?
This was right after Inside Out, so that would have been like 16 or 17. I guess it was because Inside Out came out in 15. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would have been mid-16, I guess.
All right, so here you're working on this Soul film when all of a sudden this god-awful pandemic hits us, and you knew then that it wouldn't come out in a movie theater?
Well, we didn't, actually. So our original release date was June 19th. And I think we had 7 weeks left of production when we all got sent home. And we finished the film from home. So we did all of the rest of the animation, lighting, some special effects, all from, 250 different houses across the Bay Area.
Wow.
And then we were ready. We were ready to come out because at that time, who thought we would be here more than maybe 3 weeks?
Yeah, that's what I thought in the beginning too. And okay, so you know how some businesses are finding that everything works just fine with people working from home. Some people think it's an improvement in their work experience, and I know the traffic up around where you guys live is just awful.
Yeah, it is.
Do you think that Pixar might end up post-pandemic leaving their people working from home?
No, I can't imagine it. I think the only reason we're surviving now is because we have, 20 years of experience working with each other, and we really draw on all that every day. But I think there's something about physical proximity that is essential to just get on the same wavelength.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah,
and your whole space. I mean, I got to tour your space years ago, and Wait, Don't Tell Me visited Pixar. And it's such a communal feeling place, isn't it? I mean, it looks like it's all geared towards people all kind of converging towards the center.
Yeah, well, and my theory is, look, we're making these movies not for us, but to connect with people around the world, people that we'll never even meet, And how are we going to do that unless we ourselves first connect in some deep, meaningful way to make this statement? And I don't know how you can do that separated on these little boxes. I mean, it seems to be working for now, but I don't think it's really. It's impossible to know, like, what sort of effect is that having on things? I don't know.
Yeah, but it's not the model you would choose. Well, I was going to
No.
say sort of the same thing that Adam said. You know, the campus, as they call it, of the Pixar studio is so amazing. Like, if I got to work in a place like that where every day I got to walk past a giant Buzz Lightyear, I would not trade that for anything in the world. Every time I have been lucky enough to get to walk past that Buzz Lightyear, I swear I tear up.
Yeah,
It's very meaningful. Do you? I know one never views their own work in the same way that other people do, but does it feel special to you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's some days I don't even see it because I'm in my own world. But I went back last week because I had to do some work there. Everybody's at home working, but once in a while we get to go in for, something that we can't do at home. And it was kind of weirdly emotional going back to this. Of course, the place is swarming with Canada geese now.
Oh, is it?
It's like they chased after me and hissed at me.
Oh boy, they can be nasty.
They've taken over.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and a lot of waste
A
products,
flock almost
right?
took my sister once when she was 2. The great Japanese animator Hayao Miyazaki said, "Do everything by hand, even when using the computer." Stay tuned as we find out more about the magic held in the hands of a cartoonist. The cat of the week is Alfred from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Do you really know what's in your multivitamin? Come on. Sugars, GMOs, synthetic fillers, artificial colorants, not to mention animal byproducts like sheep's wool. Oh, that's ridiculous. And gelatin from hooves and hides are all ingredients you might find in a multivitamin. That's gross.
Yeah, but Paula Poundstone, Ritual isn't your typical multivitamin. Ritual's clean, vegan-friendly formula is made with key nutrients in forms your body can actually use with none of those shady extras. I know you've taken it, Paula.
Oh, no.
No.
I've taken the kind with sheep's wool.
You see, you should have been taking Ritual just like my wife Jeannie did. She loves the minty smell.
Yeah, there's a minty smell. So these are easy to take, and when I take them, I feel good.
Well, you know what they're made of, don't you, Paula?
Do I know? Yeah. No, that's another kind. Ritual is formulated with key nutrients, including vitamin D3, to help fill gaps in the diet. Their fresh-tasting, delayed-release capsules are designed to dissolve later in less sensitive areas of the stomach, so you can take them with or without food.
And here's something I'm excited about. They're now available not just for women, but for men and teens. Ritual multivitamins are scientifically developed to help support different life stages and apparently genders.
Yeah. Your multivitamins are delivered to your door every month with free shipping always. You can start, snooze, or cancel your subscription anytime. And if you don't love Ritual, within your first month, they'll refund your first order.
You deserve to know what's in your multivitamin. That's why Ritual is offering our listeners, nobody listens to Paula Poundstone listeners, 10% off your first 3 months. Visit ritual.com/Paula to start your ritual today.
You want to feel as good as you can. Is there something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? Let me just back that up and say this. There isn't? The hell's the matter with you? BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist.
You can start communicating in under 48 hours. Well, you probably communicate already, but I mean with BetterHelp's licensed therapists. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It is professional counseling done securely online. There's a broad range of expertise available, which may not be locally available in many areas. The service is available for clients worldwide.
You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your counselor. You get timely and thoughtful responses like this. What's the matter with you? Plus, you can schedule a weekly video or phone session so you won't ever, listen carefully, you won't ever have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room as with traditional therapy. That is my favorite part.
BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change counselors if needed. It's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. Visit their website and read their testimonials that are posted daily. For instance, here's what one client had to say about Marla Johnson. Marla is so thoughtful and encouraging. I feel very supported by her, and I am so glad that I decided to join BetterHelp. Smiley face.
Hey, listen, visit betterhelp.com/Paula. That's better, H-E-L-P, help, and join the over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they are recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. Well, they're still waiting for some of the states. Special offer for Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone listeners to get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Paula. You know what, you guys? All right, in all seriousness, it's such a stressful time. Things are so difficult, and it's a great time to reach out for help.
It really is. It really is. BetterHelp.com. 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Paula. And we're back with Pixar's Pete Docter. Now, Pete, I want to ask you something because I think Paula is too humble, believe it or not, to ask you, which is, what's it like to work with Paula Poundstone on Inside Out?
That was awesome. Yeah, no, Paula got to work against Bobby Moynihan, right?
That's right.
As the two forgetters.
We were the forgetters. I was the female
That's right.
forgetter.
That's right. Forget it. Yeah, so that was great. I mean, that whole process on that film, we got such great comedians, between Amy Poehler, Richard Kind, Louis Black. We just had cream of the crop. Mindy Kaling. So it was fun. And we tried to, I don't know if you remember this, Paula, but we tried to set things up with parameters so you guys could play around and improvise. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. I think I sucked at that part, but I do remember that.
I'd imagine there'd be some editing involved.
Yeah. But thank you for trying.
Paula's character looked a little like Paula, and that's true of a lot of the characters in Inside Out, and not true of a lot of the characters in most of the Pixar movies, is it?
Yeah, I always feel like, what is it when people say, "Oh, the characters look so much like the voice actors"? I think, boy, Billy Crystal must be really mad when he hears that.
Yeah, no, I think
kind of does though. There's a weird thing where he kind of does. But in the steps that you were telling people, now that we're talking about Inside Out, I feel like you're missing a step because. When I was with you there, you showed me this little kind of clay figure of the character.
Yeah. So we designed the characters first by drawing them, and then in most cases we sculpt them either often in clay, but then eventually in the computer. And it's about then that we usually cast them. And I don't know that that's really on purpose, but we've tended to design and kind of create the characters and then find somebody who sounds like. In fact, the way I like to work is I'll ask our casting people, bring in a bunch of audio. Don't tell me who it is. Just play the sound of their voice. And then I look at those drawings or sculptures and go, yeah, that who is that guy? Oh, that's Ed Asner? Oh, yeah, he's perfect.
Wow.
Yeah, that's great.
I had a suggestion. So the character that I played was one of the forgetters who worked in the little girl character's brain and did the forgetting.
Or her mind, we like to say.
Oh, sorry, in her mind.
And the brain's like dendrites and blood vessels. And we didn't want to get into that.
No, we weren't in the brain. We were in the mind. It's over to the left.
That's right. The mind world.
But so it was really one of the thrills of my life. And so I wrote to Pete later and recommended that they do an Inside Out 2 and that the storyline be that the main character gets amnesia.
Wow.
And those
So,
those
Pete,
two
when's
are
that
just
coming
going
out?
to town down
Yeah,
there.
and this way, my work as the female forgetter would be, the key to the whole film.
Yeah.
She would just take
Yeah.
those shelves and upend them. Everything. Forget everything.
So, Pete, can we expect that Christmas 2022 or something?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
coming.
we're cranking on it.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for being so suggestible.
Yeah.
All right, now, how did this all start for you? Like, how did you get an interest in drawing, I assume is where it started?
You know, I liked drawing, but I was frustrated by it because things never looked the way I thought they should, you know. And then, just like the character in Inside Out, I went into 6th grade, and suddenly everything got all serious, and people were talking about stuff that I didn't know about, and I became very shy and quiet, and I barely had any friends. And I think that's what got me into this job. Is the only way that I felt comfortable talking to people was by, doing stuff, drawing them or making cartoons and things. So it was out of social awkwardness.
And as a student, were you a good student?
I was, yes. Although my general approach was like, I'm going to do the minimum possible so I can get back to the cartoons. So I was in 100%, but I wasn't going to go beyond, like, I'm not going to sit and do a bunch of homework beyond what they asked me, So
Right. So you never got extra credit. Is that what you're saying?
exactly.
You never got like a C me on your report. Remember when the teacher
No, I
would
was-
write that? But you, on the other hand, never got extra credit.
I was like a solid B student.
That's good.
That's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good.
I
That's
like
a
a
safe
B.
range to be in. Nobody's going to drag you away to a gifted center, but you're doing well.
That's right. Focus on the important things like cartoons.
Exactly.
And what cartoons did you admire? Because you must have seen something that made you say, hey, I could do that.
Well, Bugs Bunny was huge. I loved, and still is. Man,
Yeah.
those are hilarious. They're really just so well done. Very funny. There's a lot of them. I mean, Disney, I loved the Disney stuff. Later on, you quoted Hayao Miyazaki a minute ago. I love his stuff.
Wait a minute. Is that the guy who did Totoro?
Yeah.
Oy. I
Yeah.
hated Totoro. I mean, I'm happy for you, but
Okay.
it was
Didn't speak to you, huh?
it was too much of characters inhaling. There was a lot of Totoro.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah. Totoro. Just did nothing for me. I hate
She
inhaling.
hates inhaling.
I do. It causes me to cough.
Exhaling's where's that?
I think so. Oh, Totoro. But to each his own, of course. So, and I know that, I know he's popular. I don't know. It just didn't do anything for me. Okay, so Bugs Bunny, the Totoro guy. What else?
Well, the Muppets. I love still love the Muppets.
I love the
And in
Muppets.
fact, going back to Inside Out, we were lucky to get both Frank Oz and Dave Goelz as the two guards of the subconscious. And boy, talk about, we had written a bunch of stuff for them, but Frank could say, all right, Dave, feed me a line at the beginning just to get going, and then we'll blend into it. We ended up just using their improv stuff. We completely chucked all the stuff that we wrote. So everything you see in there is them just goofing around.
Huh. I mean, I think it might have been better to tell that story before we brought up the fact that I was allowed to improvise and couldn't do it. But I appreciate what you're saying. I still
know.
think that's good.
Would have made that part of the interview much sadder.
Yeah, it was kind of a sad part.
But
Yeah.
only looking back.
Only
Yeah.
looking back, it's sad now.
Yeah.
Do you remember saying
but-
to me, like, Paula, say whatever you want, just jump in? And
Yeah.
yeah.
No, and you
said-
did. And,
yeah.
and I don't remember specifically, but there are definitely lines in there that you just made up.
Oh,
that
were
not
there?
just written.
No,
Yeah.
I took them from the Sesame Street guys. I'll be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Frank and Dave.
So, did you do any voices in any of the ones?
Yeah, let's see. I was the voice of, okay, so in Inside Out, there's Riley's mind, and then you zip into Mom and Dad's minds at varying times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you go to Dad's mind, and there's kind of a militant anger with a mustache, and I did his voice.
I remember him.
Yeah.
Didn't
so I don't
recognize you at
actually
the time,
remember
though.
any of the lines. Yeah.
No, I had no idea.
Yeah.
So, did you do more voices, Pete, in other ones?
Let's see. I mean, I've done a lot of stuff, but usually it gets cut out and replaced by real actors.
I
so,
see.
like, I was the first voice of Buzz before we cast Tim Allen. Let's see.
You
what
got
else.
replaced by
you know
that
what?
hack?
Yeah. I'm okay. In Monsters Inc. at the very beginning, you hear off-screen mom and dad, and they say "Good night, kiddo," and that's me.
Oh.
So there you go. And then in The Incredibles, I'm one of the guards that gets beat up. I go, "Oh!" So,
Is that right outside the headquarters when Mr. Incredible is sneaking in?
yeah, on the island.
Yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't Mrs. Incredible who
recognize me.
did it.
Absolutely.
From the time that Adam punched you. You know, those of us who have punched you remember that sound that you make, and that's why we keep doing it.
It's irresistible. It's just so entertaining.
Who came up with the name Kevin for the bird?
You know what? We were calling him Steve at first.
Oh, that's a
And then
riot.
we heard, I think, because we thought it was funny to name a bird Steve. But then there
Yeah.
was some other movie, which I can't remember right now, that there was a character named Steve at the same time, so we had to change it. And Kevin was our editor, and it just struck us very funny.
It's a really funny name.
All right, now, so you have this system with, the breaking story, but what about for you with writing? What is your own personal process, and do you ever get writer's block?
Oh, yeah, writer's. You know what? I never get writer's block. I never.
Can I
have
just say this
nothing
quickly?
To say.
Fuck you.
Yes. Well, you have to listen to the end of my sentence. I never have nothing to say. I just don't have anything good.
Okay.
There's
All right.
there's a big difference.
All right, then fuck only part of you.
So you don't have trouble sitting down and writing something. It just might not be what you want.
Yeah, and most of the time, like I'd say, I don't know, 9 out of 10, if not more times, you look at it and go like, well, that sucks. Well, all right. Well, I'll pitch it anyway to see if anybody can improve on things. And then the one time that I think it's great, I pitch it and it dies. So success rate. You just have to be ready. If you're going to be a writer, you have to be ready for a lot of failure and either stamina or ignorance to get back up and do it again.
That's good advice.
That is good advice.
Because I don't think most of us think of it that way, especially, well, I don't. I can't speak for the others. I do, though. But especially me, I just figure everybody else somehow you're just, there's no struggle there. You just pull it off.
No, I remember when I was going into school, I always pictured it would work like this. Like, I picture Walt Disney in bed and he's like about to fall asleep and he just goes, Dumbo. And there it is. It's all in his head. It all comes out.
Oh, it's never
And
that.
it's not that at all. It's it's just a painful process of thousands of little tiny decisions that hopefully come together into some illusion of one thing.
Was there a film that ended up taking longer because that part, where it magically comes together, just sort of magically wasn't happening?
Well, you know what seems to happen for us, and I don't know if this is true of everybody, but you have a lot of bad ideas, but then you hit one, you're like, oh, this is going to be great. It's got so much potential. And you pitch it to somebody and they go, that's going to be great. It's got so much potential. And then you get about, quarter of the way in and it starts to get really hard. And you're like, wait, whose idea was this? This is really hard. I don't know if we should keep going on this, and then you have this real slog before you finally start seeing things clicking into place towards the last third or so. So there's a big trough in the middle that's just like, I don't know how I got into this, but the only way is to go forward.
Yeah. So when you first started drawing, did you ever have any kind of formal training in that?
Not initially. And then I took an art class in high school and I hated it because it was largely like we made belt buckles.
Oh, yeah.
And that didn't seem like where I wanted to go with this. So
then can we look forward, Pete, to Belt Buckle the movie?
No, that's not coming anytime soon.
Well, you say that now, but 10 years down the road. Let me go to a larger picture thing because young Pete Docter shows up at Pixar. A new concept in animation is happening. The computer animated feature. He's bright-eyed and fresh-faced. Now here we are, 20 odd years later, and Pixar has created an industry. Cell animated movies have all but disappeared, and there's so many computer animated movies out there, and some of them actually are pretty good.
Yeah.
But still, there's something different about a Pixar movie, isn't there? And I wonder if you could try to define that. What do you think it is that makes Pixar different?
Oh, gee, I don't know. I mean, somebody else should probably answer that. But I guess from my perspective...
Is there anybody else there?
Hey, hon? She left. Sorry.
That's got to be you then.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I guess from my perspective, the thing that I personally try to do, and I don't know the insides of, Brad Bird's brain or anything, but where I'm coming from is like, what do I want to see as an animator? What tickles that part of me that makes me go, yeah, I want to animate that. That's what got me Monsters or Inside Out. And then it's just a lot of hard work. But the other thing is trying to find something that is intriguing to me. So, I'm not tailoring this to 5-year-olds. I'm wanting something that I can chew on for 5 years. And I'm going to be working on this thing. It better be interesting. It better compelling and drive me to continue to want to think about it. So, why do we need sadness in our lives? Or in this case, like, what's the real purpose of living? What are we doing? That's what soul, that's a kind of a preposterous thing to admit out loud, that it's about the meaning of life.
It's not.
But that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to explain that.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite? I say this because I'm such a Disney fan. What's your favorite Disney animated film?
Oh, it's hard to beat Dumbo.
There you go. That's
Dumbo.
what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
I
so
love it too.
poignant and heartfelt and funny, and it's great.
We're
great. Yeah.
We're going to the big boss. We're going to the big boss. We're going to get more
That's
money
right,
because
for
we
a
know that
raise.
we are funny. That's
right.
when the clowns were drinking and they were going to go talk to the ringmaster. They were unionizing. So we're going to
That's
get
right.
more money because we know that we are funny.
That's right.
It's a brilliant line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other one that's really good, Cinderella, is quite good. I mean, it's got these wonderful moments where it's just like, okay, where did the mouse hide under which cup? There's just funny, goofy stuff. And then there's emotional pathos. And then the last, 10 minutes just takes off like a shot. It's amazing. It's really cool.
I don't think Cinderella is good for little girls, though, because a lot of
Well,
girls
that could be.
kind of drag their feet for most of their life, thinking that birds are going to do their work.
Yeah, birds are never going to do that for you.
Yeah,
Never.
I just think it's the wrong message.
There are a lot of controversial things about those older films, but I had not put that one on the list.
Yeah, well, I'd say add it on if you can.
Okay.
How has computer animation changed, Pete?
Well, it's changed a lot since I've gotten into it. We used to worry a lot about technical stuff. Here's another Toy Story thing. Woody gets his forehead burned by Sid, who's the mean kid with a magnifying glass, right?
Sure, we had the
And then
coloring
he
book.
leaves. Yeah, and Woody runs over, and originally he dipped his face in a bowl of dog water. His dogs... So you'd see a splash and it would cool it down. That was horribly expensive to do. So we changed it to a bowl of Fruit Loops, and we put the camera really low so you wouldn't see any of the liquid. So you just see these Fruit Loops fly out. So there were a lot of decisions like that we had to do early on because it was really hard. And now I think, not that it's cheap. It's still harder than, a flat, rigid object. But they've done some amazing stuff with smoke and all sorts of amazing stuff.
Oceans.
Wait, back up. Explain
Oceans.
to me why it was cheaper for Woody to stick his face in Fruit Loops than it was dog water?
Well, because if you do dog water, then when he sticks his head and you need to see water splashing out, right? And water is not just individual little rigid things. It moves and it shifts. Like if you watch a movie of water splashing, it's really organic and complicated. Whereas if we put the camera low and then he ducked his head in and you see these little donuts fly out, they're each of them are little rigid things, and it's a lot easier to deal with.
Oh, okay. All right. That's why from now on, when my dogs are thirsty, I'm giving them Fruit Loops.
It's cheaper. Sorry, dogs, it's cheaper.
Lazy
All right.
dogs.
Well, Pete, thank you so much for walking us through the Pixar process. But I got to tell you, Here at the podcast, we have a process of our own, and that involves taking the information that you've just given us and running it through the old Poundstonator. Paula?
Okay, Kathleen, if I can get a little background music, I'll tell you what the Poundstonator spit out. Pete Docter is a really brilliant man, and Pixar is an American treasure. Every time they put out a new film, I'm amazed by it. And the levels that it plays on. Their films have humor, pathos, beauty, and even lessons to learn. Someone thought to have Tom Hanks play a little cowboy doll. Someone thought to have Don Rickles play Mr. Potato Head. Someone thought to have Buzz Lightyear pat his seatbelt with a sense of security and accomplishment. Pete has animated monsters that we've only imagined through our fears. He's done toys who love us back. He's animated emotions. Who thinks of that? In Inside Out 2, subtitled Riley Gets Amnesia, they'll probably have the lesser emotions. Boredom, irked, slighted, and unmotivated will be played by your dad. I'll get to it, honey, right after I watch the game. Soul sounds great. By the time we're enjoying it, though, Pete Docter will already be hard at work on the movie Form. He'll animate gas, liquid, and solid, which will be voiced by Clarence Williams III. After that, it's Snowflakes, starring Cyndi Lauper. Why are we all so different? The kitchen staff is in for a great winter.
He is the writer and director of Pixar's newest movie, Soul. It will be available on Disney Plus on Christmas Day. Pete Docter, I can't thank you enough for coming by.
Oh, thank you. It's fun talking to you guys.
Oh, Pete, you're wonderful. Thank you
awesome.
so much.
Thanks, Pete.
Coming up, Iceland. Won't you listen to our show? Join Toni Anita Hull and Bonnie Burns for an audio tour of the land of ice and fire. That is most likely coming up after this.
Adam, while the holidays may look a little different this year, the season of giving is in full swing. So listen close if you have a child, grandchild, niece, nephew, or little cousin on your holiday list.
That's right, because if you think it's impossible to get a kid to put down the cell phone or video game and do something that's good for their brain, you're not right. I am living proof. Not me, but my kids. It is possible. We're going to talk about KiwiCo. KiwiCo delivers hands-on science and art projects for kids of all ages. Everything needed to spark curiosity and kindle creative thinking, which makes KiwiCo the perfect gift. And it's really, really fun because they come in these sweet-looking little boxes with intriguing diagrams on the front. It tells you exactly what the kit is, and your kid instantly can't wait to open that box with you and figure out what you're going to build together or what art project you're going to make together. It really is going to be, a more fun holiday in this household because we have those. I know my daughter Vivian just loves their projects.
There's little tools that go with them that can, of course, be reused on other projects, like little screwdrivers and the like.
Yes, absolutely. And now your child can get super cool hands-on science, art, and geography projects delivered to your door every month. While they might be unable to go to fun places for the holidays, you can make your home a fun place. Gift them that whoa, awesome experience with KiwiCo. And unboxing a crate feels as exciting as receiving it.
You know, when I was a kid, I loved the idea of something that came regularly. You know, that really does make opening the door kind of fun. It's hard to find new creative ways to keep the kids busy while stretching their brain, especially now. But KiwiCo does the legwork for you, so you can spend more quality time tackling projects together. I just want to say something, that the verbs that they're using here are totally inappropriate. You don't want to stretch their brain and you don't want to tackle the projects. You tackle the projects, you break them.
KiwiCo is redefining learning with hands-on projects that build confidence, creativity, and critical thinking skills. There's something for every kid or kid at heart at KiwiCo. Get 50% off your first month plus free shipping on any crate line with code PAULA, P-A-U-L-A, at KiwiCo.com.
So you can get 50% off your first month at KiwiCo, KIWICO.com, promo code Paula.
Fun fact, the human brain is actually 60% fat, making it by far the fattiest organ in the human body and thus the most frequently subjected to organ shaming. Okay, Paula, here's the thing. Initially, we were going to go to the report on Iceland, co-authored by Toni Anita Hull and Bonnie Burns. But
yeah, Bonnie brought in a papier-mâché volcano, so I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, I share your trepidation that Bonnie is not ready for this, but at the same time, Bonnie got bailed out a school-time miracle by Pete Docter because that interview was so wonderful and so long that we are going to postpone Toni and Bonnie's Iceland report till next week.
Oh, so we ran over? We ran over?
We ran over with Pete Docter.
We ran over Pete Docter?
No, Paula, we didn't
That's
run over
awful.
Pete Docter. We were.
He's very thin, Adam. You would barely feel it.
Oh yeah, I know he's an ectomorph, but he's fine. We just ran. The interview was long. Is my point.
Oh well, that's different than we ran over Pete Docter.
It's extremely different. But Bonnie Burns, you have time to actually do your work this week, then, and rather than having Toni do it.
No, I was prepared.
You were prepared? All right.
No, it was going to be. It's a group project, and I was prepared with some things.
Mm-hmm. How did you guys divide it up? Are you going to talk about ice and Toni's going to talk about land?
I can tell you, I did all of the research and sent it to Bonnie, and she said, I'll just interject.
Oh, man!
That's true.
This is
but I have
seventh
some
grade.
interesting facts. I do have some interesting facts. I have some information, and it might be some stuff that she did not cover.
Oh, boy. Well, you guys, thank you. And we look forward to next week learning about our Icelandic listeners, of whom I'm sure there's thousands, because there's something about the way that Adam and I work in particular that would appeal to the Icelandic people.
The Icelandic aesthetic, as it were.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Adam!
What?
Answer the phone!
What?
Answer the phone!
Oh my God, we almost made it through a podcast without that. We ran long with Pete Docter. All right,
answer the phone.
Hello?
Hello? Hello? Adam?
Hello?
I said hello already.
Yes, you did. Who's calling?
I called already. Now I'm just waiting for you to talk.
Is this Nan Mumford?
Yeah.
Well, how can I help you, Nan?
Is that what you do? Are you customer service? Did I buy something? I hope it's
No,
flannel
no.
or wool. It's time to put the shorts in the trunk and the blueberries in the freezer.
Okay, great. I guess I meant, Nan, why did you call?
Oh.
I mean, so, why did you call? That's my question really here.
I wanted to know if I'm the 100th caller.
No, you're not. It's almost frightening now. This is drawing towards a close. You are the 97th caller, Nan.
Well, that's good, because I don't have time to hang out with you after the game. I gotta get the blueberries in the freezer. Bye, Adam.
Bye, Nan. Hey, pro tip for any of you listeners out there, if you don't want to be the 100th caller, don't call to ask what number caller you are, because you're in danger of winning the competition at this point. Like, Dire danger. All right, Paula, what's going on with your Poundstone product empire this week?
Well, Adam, I've been making this goofy little Zoom game show called Nobody Asked You, starring Paula Poundstone, where contestants...
Very entertaining show.
Thank you. Where contestants score points for how much they know about each other and compete to win any item they want from my store at paulapoundstone.com. Many, Adam, have walked away covered in glory and an incredibly soft tri-poly blend t-shirt with a self-portrait on the left breast and a memorable quote on the back. If listeners would like to join in the fun, be an on-camera audience member, or grab a friend and be contestants, go to nobodyaskegyouGame@gmail.com. Is that right? nobodyaskegyouGame@gmail.com.
That is right.
All right. Thank you for the confirmation, Toni and Idaho. And hey, sports fans, if you enjoyed Jeff Cesario and me in the Starburn Sports simulcast for the World Series, I want you to keep checking my Twitter feed at Adam Felber or starburnsports.com because Cesario and I have decided to call a couple of football games. Bonnie Burns will like that.
Well, not since the Seahawks, they really lost stupidly the other week. I might have to stop watching football.
Wow, thank you for helping me with that plug, Bonnie Burns. That was so fucking helpful. You could have said, I'll be there or something like that. But now we're talking about this.
I'll be there.
Oh, it's too late. You ruined everything.
Yeah, she was about to say, does anybody really like game shows?
Oh, my God. All right.
No, I think it's a good idea, Adam. I really do think it's a good idea that somebody does funny calls for football.
That's fantastic, Bonnie. Thanks. Now, if you want to enter our theme song contest, send your song to us at nobodylistensToPaulaPoundstone@gmail.com. That's the address for everything. nobodylistensToPaulaPoundstone@gmail.com, or you can comment on Facebook to make sure you get through to Bonnie Burns. That's our show. Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone is hosted by Paula Poundstone and yours truly, Adam the Felber. Special thanks to our guest, Pete Docter, who we did not run over. And thanks to our house band, Kathleen Strahm. Our show is produced by Paula Poundstone, Adam Felber, Bonnie Burns, Ken Lezebnik, and Toni and Anita Hall. Mixing by Michael Hoagie. Starburns production by Land Romo. And our former intern is Doug. Man, we haven't forgotten you, but we almost have at this point. Transcription services for the show provided by Transcribe Me, a premier internationally used transcription service. Use code Paula Poundstone when placing your order at transcribeme.com to receive an expedited service.
That's our show for tonight. Won't somebody please listen to me? Boy, I just narrowly dodged Pete Docter.
Why? Yeah, well, he was trying to cast you as a star, right? A lead.
No. I mean, I almost ran over him.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that would have been tragic.
No,
and we never asked him about Randy Newman.
Oh.
You've got a friend in me.
What were we going to ask him about Randy Newman?
I would have said, hey, Pete Docter, Randy Newman. He's cool, right?
Oh, yeah, that's a jumping off place. Pete Docter, just spitballing here, but Randy Newman. Randy Newman's great, and I've got a friend in him.
I do too.
Yeah, you got a friend? Oh my gosh, I love everything Pixar, Adam. You know what? I guess they're shut down now because of the pandemic, but I might just fly up there and break in and take my picture with Buzz Lightyear. I might do it.
I'll camp out there because I haven't even been a voice yet. You've got a sequel in the works.
Yeah. Oh yeah, got a sequel. Riley gets amnesia.
Starburns Audio, a podcast network.